Paranormal Smorgasbord on the Gathering Paracast. Tales from the unknown. Tonight's gathering begins.
Welcome to the Gathering Paracast on the Cryptovania Network. We are on another Wednesday after a little hiatus. We were off for summer break, so it's fun to be back with the Paranormal Smorgasbord. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Heidi.
And I'm Trost.
Sorry about the voice.
Yep, Heidi's got a little something in her throat right now.
Little laryngitis right now.
Little
Sorry.
laryngitis. Yep, a little bug. So,
Well, it's a good thing that me and you can run our mouths pretty good.
Isn't that the truth, though? Oh my God. Always. So I hope we're all rested and refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. It seems like we're all busier than ever. And but here we go, back at it. So it's fun to be back at it with the Paranormal Smorgasbord.
It was nice to get a little summer vacation there, and get through that very busy July me, I'm looking forward to August having a little bit more fun and a little less work. So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
So in July we had Bigfoot days, which was actually really fun. We had tons of people, saw lots of people that I haven't seen for a long time, including Mike Hexum and the bunch. And just fun. We had a really good time. So of course that's once a year. So next year we'll be back. Some of us went up the night before and stayed in Deer River, but we were up there on Friday and we heard about a Bigfoot sighting actually just north of Reamer. So we ditched our plans and went running to this, area. I mean, we heard, they have storytelling time on Fridays, and that's where we heard this. And we're like, oh my gosh, let's go. We didn't see anything. And it was like 1,000 degrees out. It was one of those days when it was so hot. We were just dying. We didn't get to the hotel until, 10 o'clock. It was crazy. But it was fun nonetheless, So
how many days is that event? Is that a single day event?
The big day is Saturday. They have kind of events Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but Saturday is the big event, and so they have like storytelling on Friday and Bigfoot calling and stuff. And then Sunday, I'm not sure what really happens on Sunday, but Saturday is the big day. So
that's kind of similar to, there's a pretty good Bigfoot festival here called the Forest County Bigfoot Festival. Mary Fabian's been up here a couple of times, Mike Famelant, Benoit, I can't remember his first name. And it kind of starts Friday. They have some events, but Saturday's the big day, then Sunday. Yeah.
But there were just swarms of people this year. I was kind of surprised. So last year we thought it was busy, but this year it was like really busy and questions. And we had, we had paranormal questions because Sim and, when Squad and Cryptid Chicks were all in the same thing. But so we had paranormal stuff, we had cryptid stuff, Bigfoot stuff. It was so fun. And it was fun to see people that we haven't seen for a year, right? It was fun to, hugs and kisses all around, right? It was a riot. So it's always good to do that. It's the Minnesota thing. But
now, was that a Bigfoot sighting that was that you guys took a little extra look at?
Yeah, there was a couple of people so they have this storytelling time and people, tell their stories. And this couple, it was actually, this kid was younger, but he was up there with his grandma that afternoon. I mean, it was within hours, right? And they talked about seeing this creature they thought was Bigfoot, and it was not far. I mean, it was on the way to Deer River, for heaven's sakes, So, we went up there and, scoured around and, we didn't see anything. Annie thought she saw something. She and Ben were kind of behind the rest of us, but I didn't see anything, but nonetheless, it was fun. It's a beautiful place. I've been there before watching. So it was a place that was known to us, but you got to go where the sightings are, especially when they're that fresh.
Yeah.
That's crazy that it was that like right before.
Right. And if we hadn't had the event on Saturday, we probably would have went down there during, in the morning, but or went there at night, but we were just too tired. We had to get, we had to be in Reamer at, 8 o'clock or something. So anyhow, but yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. So that was all that. And, Sim has been busy. We were up north on Sunday or Saturday last week for another case. And we ran into the serpent up in Crosby, took pictures, of course, because that's what we do. So we'll go back. I mean, we think that what's going on, we don't really know what's going on there, but we think it's probably a very different place at night. And we just didn't have the capacity to do a nighttime thing. We just wanted to go up there, and it's a former Sim member. So we know it's not just some fly by night thing, right? She was an investigator, so she knows. So that was fun too. So I think we'll probably go up there, I don't know, maybe in September and for a night, and spend the night in a tent and see what we see. So that'll be fun too. So
yeah, and actually you think you might do an overnighter?
I think so, or maybe just something that goes late into that, because that's when they
deep
hear all
into
the
the night.
stuff. That's what they think, and she doesn't know if it's Bigfoot. I don't know if it's Bigfoot. I mean, who knows? We just don't know, right? We didn't see any signs of Bigfoot, but that doesn't mean anything, really, But that's when, she's had her camper shaken in the night and scratches on the door and kind of crazy things like that. So, because they're building a house there. But I don't know. It's kind of fun. Could be paranormal too,
Yeah. And the thing about overnight too is like, once you get to like 2 o'clock, you're awful tired.
Yeah.
So you better have something dramatic that'll keep you keep you up, because otherwise you might just sleep through everything, because especially we're not super young anymore, so it's
listen,
get a little cozy.
I'm tired. I'm tired. And in 3 weeks we're having Lauren on. Can't think of her last name right now. I'm sorry. But she owns that hospital that we investigated last year down in Iowa.
Oh.
We've actually booked a weekend again. So we're going there in November this time. It's about a week after Halloween. And we booked both nights. So we're going to be there all weekend. And my idea for that was, well, hey, then we can just kind of come and go. We'll get an Airbnb or a hotel or something. And then, there's enough of us that somebody can be there and somebody can be sleeping. And then somebody can go. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can't. Some of our members are a lot younger than me, which is fun. It's fun, but man, I'm old. I can't stay up all night anymore. I'm just too tired.
I enjoy the Airbnb aspect too, because it's almost like you almost add a second setting to your adventure, because you're always, well, what exactly do we have here?
Right. And there's other haunts around there too. And so Lauren's going to be on, and I think she's going to have on Rhonda, who's the paranormal and one of the paranormal investigators that helps her, because she doesn't do paranormal at all. In fact, she's scared to death of the paranormal. When I showed her some of the things that we found, she was like, oh my God. You know what I mean? It was like, I can't believe you guys do this.
That's awesome.
But so she's gonna, she runs events and stuff in there too. So hopefully she can still make it. So it'll be fun to talk to her as well.
Which location is it?
It's down in Iowa. That's not very well known. That's why I said, I want to get you more business, because her idea is to, all the money she gets, they're really going to try to, not really renovate, but make it so it's okay. It's kind of dilapidated. The roof.
I wonder if I've been there. That's why I'm wondering.
I don't think so. It's down in, I've known the place too. It's in Oskaloosa, which is kind of west and south of Des Moines. And it's a four-story hospital. And then there was a clinic next to it that now is like a thriving art community, right? So the clinic was fine. So there's all kinds of businesses in there, and Lauren owns it all, right? And so the hospital is just for paranormal bunch. Now her idea is to make it into some kind of paranormal boutique hotel. But I said, Lauren, do you know how much that costs? I do know how much that So who knows? But for right now it's fun. But like I said, there's not a lot of people that know about it who aren't from that area, So I said, maybe we can get you some exposure, And, So yeah, I think it'll be fun.
Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So for me, and then Jason, we'll go to you, or we can go to Heidi. I know Heidi doesn't have much of a voice tonight, but so one of the things I just wanted to bring back up was, I know a few weeks ago we talked about mimics, and when I was out on the island at the end of June, how we were in the woods and we were screaming like little girls because we were chased by wasps. And a few seconds later, there was a mimic that sounded just like our little girls screaming in the woods, and Casey told me at that time that when she lived on island, people told her about the mimics that were in this stretch of woods, which I had never been in before. How does that happen after 30 years? I'm not sure. But so she went it was a spur of the moment weekend a couple weeks ago, a week or two ago. And I told her, I said, go into those woods, see what you see, turn on your voice recorder on your phone, and see if you can come up with this again, And she called me right after and she said, Mom, she said, I went in there and we were not even very far. She had her dog with her and they had maybe been in there 5 or 10 minutes. And she said, all of a sudden I heard the mimic say, Casey, I'm over here.
Well, they said her name.
Yes. And she said, I'm out of there. I am never going in there again. You can go in there all you want. I refuse, I'm like, did you have your phone on? And she said, no, I didn't think anything was going to happen. And
so what time of day was this?
I think it was in the morning. So it was the same time that we were there. So probably 7-ish, 8-ish in the morning. So interesting, right? And they're really thick woods, thick, beautiful Red Riding Hood kind of woods, big, ginormous trees and just beautiful,
Which
like
can also be kind of spooky at times in the right light. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. I said, well, hey, next time I go out there, I'll go out there and I'll have my voice recorder in hand, and we'll see what happens. But, they say mimics do that. They try to confuse you so that you get lost or whatever. So perfect. I said, well, did it sound like me? Because it would kind of make sense that it would. And she said, I don't know. I was just so scared. We got the heck out of there and I am never going in there again.
That's incredible.
I know.
Corky Marble over in Eastern Ohio, he talks about Bigfoot like or something mimicking even like chainsaws and motorcycles. Yeah. And it makes a pretty compelling case on his YouTube videos. And Tommy Cooper's been out there several times and he's like, it's really weird. It sounds like somebody pretending to be a motorcycle, but doing a really good job. Yeah. Kind of, it is really crazy. Yeah. And because usually mimic stories are you seem like centered around voices rather than trying to do like machinery type thing,
That's bizarre. That
is and I think a lot of times maybe we automatically attribute it to Biggie, but maybe it's a whole different entity of its own or UFO-ish or something.
I mean, I don't think we know. It would be a fun one to have a whole show around, maybe if anybody has any experiences, let's just wait a few months. I don't know when I'm going to get back to the island. I'm hoping maybe this fall, so maybe I can go out there and delve some more into it. I don't know. I got a really busy fall going on, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out there, but I'm gonna try. So, and then I will go into those woods by myself in the dark.
Or maybe just in the morning.
I was going to say you should go at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, it was early. It was between 7 and 8 or whatever. So very cool. All right. So, which one of you want to go next?
Go ahead,
Heidi.
Jason.
All right. So I on X or the old Twitter, I like to scour for content on there, and the see what's in what I call Bigfoot Twitter and UFO Twitter and stuff, and I came across this this game that I'm kind of excited about, and it's going to be on Steam, and it's available on Game Boy, and it's actually shot with a Game Boy camera, and it's just a short game. You can actually play the whole game in just like a couple hours, which is not the standard fare for the normal, gameplay thing. But it's also kind of fits back into the old Game Boy type of mentality. And fortunately in our world of paranormal and stuff, we're used to grainy pictures, and the grainy pictures work really well with this Game Boy type hardware that he used to shoot it. And it's kind of has that what was the movie about 20 years ago that it was based around, like, you find a hidden a camera from somebody that lost that they lost their camera, and then you kind of re-step or retrace their steps and see what happens. It's
not coming to me.
Okay. Anyway, this is kind of shot with that in mind, in that this professor, this cryptid professor, it disappears, and you have his camera, and you have evidence in his camera. And this game is called Encrypted. And I'm gonna play the trailer for it. It's kind of cool. It harkens back to when we were kids, and
so do you play it on like one of those? I remember those Game Boys.
Yeah.
They were like the size of our phones, right? And
yeah, you can put it on a Game Boy, or you can play it on the PC with that Steam service. But yeah. So here we go.
Cool.
There's your grainy footage.
Sure.
And our professor.
Yeah.
Professor Pine,
Pine.
And then you have the gameplay, but it intermixes the camera stuff, because there we go, like Nessie, and Eye Shine and stuff, and
so it's like a game all about cryptids and stuff. That is cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, and so it's kind of cool. It is coming out this month. This is a small little project. And that this woman developed, and it's really, there you go. You get clobbered by Mothman.
Nice.
I love it.
Autumn Night
cool.
is the developer, and it's really cool because it kind of harkens back, but it also, like, so many of my diatribes have been how it's really cool that they've made technology so much more accessible for us to do these kind of cool things, where you can have somebody and that's their second job, actually. Their first job is, I think, they're a funeral director. But the second, there's the second job developing this game, and
cool.
That's really cool, and it kind of goes back to like a lot of what we do and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. So that was kind of my fun thing from exploring the UFO and encrypted Twitter. And I still have trouble calling it X. It's just such a short name.
I know. I like Twitter better, but
yeah. And it was always, UFO Twitter or Bigfoot Twitter, and now you're like Bigfoot X.
It's just X.
Yeah.
But I love the idea about Game Boy. I haven't thought about Game Boy since my girl was, probably 10. We probably still have one of the original ones hanging around here somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, so, I'm sure one of my boys does, because they are yes, and they love those handheld games. And they still do. And my youngest and my oldest boys are a couple hours apart, but they'll share devices and keep sharing back and forth, and one of them will have it for a couple months, and then the other one. Nice. And if they come across a trove of like used games and stuff, watch out, But,
coolest thing ever.
Yeah. And my youngest, he's on Steam quite a bit, and I'll see if I can get him to get that game there and check it out. And
for sure. Oh, I
Yeah.
like it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I'm gonna
So
have to check it out. So I know I have 2 Game Boy handhelds here because they're both mine.
mhm.
Oh,
So I'm gonna check it out.
yeah, for
You don't
sure.
have any haunted ones, do you?
No.
Nope.
Well, I know
Nope.
we have one here too. I just couldn't put my finger on where it is, but I
Mhm.
thought not too long ago, and I thought, oh, that was a long time ago. You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that Game Boy, the device itself is rather ingenious, even for the time.
Mhm.
What you can do with it.
Yeah.
And so often people would even like that's how they would watch TV was like through their
Yes.
Game Boy
Yes.
and stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And kind of cool how many things it would unlock.
Mhm. Yep.
Here's what they say: what's old is new again. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
awesome. I like it. I like
I
it a
love it.
lot.
I'm gonna have to check it out, see if I can find the game and
Yeah.
try it.
Yeah. Do it. Report back.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I
It's
will.
called Encrypted. Yes, that's the name of
Awesome.
it. Yeah,
Awesome. I'm
yeah.
gonna look for it. When does it come out?
It's supposed to come out this month.
Okay. I'm gonna look
So
it up
yeah,
and write it down
yeah.
so I don't
Soon.
forget.
Soon. Just in time for the fall season, most likely.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, when I've got 0 time.
I know, right? I know. We're all busy for sure.
Oh.
Well, Heidi, what were you gonna chat about tonight? UFO something, maybe?
Yeah, so I've been having a little fun with UFO sightings in Minnesota specifically. And there's one that I saw that happened just a year ago, about a year and a half ago. It was February 2025. And so we were talking, I don't know, was it a couple months ago about some cryptid reportings that were happening with law enforcement, right?
Yeah.
Law
Yeah.
enforcement was doing these
Yeah.
reports. And so then
Yeah.
you look at it a little differently, and not that you want to judge anybody else that doesn't, it isn't in law enforcement. I mean, you want to look at every report credibly until you know otherwise, or if you do. And so, but it seems like that, if someone is in law enforcement or something else it gives a little bit of a different lean when it's reported. And so I saw this UFO sighting, and it was multiple officers at about 1:00 in the morning. They were doing a debriefing in a parking lot, and it was February 2025. And all of these law enforcement officers saw an UAP in the air at the same time. And so it was, and they went after it. I guess they drove. So they were in the Twin Cities here in Minnesota. They were in Anoka when they saw it,
Anoka.
and they started heading west because that's the direction it was that they were going. And they got to, I don't know how far out they got. If it was Buffalo, I don't know. They kept heading west, and it was still quite a ways away. And so for how big it was, I mean, it had to be really big for them to see it in Anoka, and you go half an hour west driving, which 30 miles or so, and it's still pretty big. So he got a video of it, and so we're gonna show it next week because I'd like to talk more about it because I was looking at more
Nice.
sightings that have been done or that have recent in 2024, 25, 26 here in Minnesota. These law enforcement officers, actually there's a group called Americans for Safe Aerospace, ASA, and it's a nonprofit that evaluates UAP sightings. And the guy that started it, Ryan Graves, is a former military pilot. So he started this group, and he takes a lot of military and police reports.
That's good.
Yeah, he said that's a lot of what he gets are from military and police that are these unexplained, aerial phenomenon. So I've been doing a little bit of checking on just Minnesota specifically, and there's quite a bit actually, and there's some similarities with it. So I thought, well, I'm going to start mapping this stuff out. So that's why I need a little bit of time because I wanted to just see if there's any kind of, you just want to look at it on a map and see, is there any, like when I mapped out the Illinois Triangle with Mothman This girl did that. Yes, I did.
Yes.
So I'm thinking, can I do something like this with the UAPs? Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm doing a little bit of research. So hopefully next week we have something more to talk about.
Awesome.
That could be interesting for
sure.
to see what's going on in Minnesota with
For sure.
unexplained aerial phenomenon.
Apparently, apparently
Yes.
there's a lot. MUFON was up at Bigfoot Days too. They had a booth, and I went and talked to them a little bit. And I talked to them about those lines in the skies. Remember, I told you about how Josie saw what she described as longitude and latitude lines up there, and they said, "Well, we have seen the lines before. I'm not sure they're latitude and longitude." I said, "Well, that's just what it reminded her of." You know what I mean? And they said, "Oh yeah, that's for sure." So, I mean, I thought that was very interesting. And they said there's just a lot of reports. So
That's interesting. That
stuff.
is cool.
That's good. Yeah.
And I wonder too if that was, there was like, it seems like within a couple of years ago there was a spat of a lot of unexplained drone type activity too for a long time. That was like government agencies like accusing each other and government entities like kind of throwing shade at each other about what might be behind these, and there was never any good explanation. So that'll be really cool. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
That'll be cool.
The Anoka sighting did make it to the FBI from what I was able to gather. So again, this is not something that I think was just some random, it might be some, kid with a, shining his flashlight in the sky kind of thing. Right. I mean, this thing had to have had some substance to it. If you drive 30 miles and you still aren't even close to it, and you could see it clearly. Right. So anyway, so I'm excited to see what else is out there, with all the things that they've been releasing lately from the government with UFO footage and sightings and reports. I thought, well, it'll be interesting to see what's going on here in Minnesota that in the, fairly recent times.
For sure.
That is cool. That is cool. And you would think too on a long encounter like that, you're going to have all kinds of different visual perspectives. You know, like you know, and that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I think it was
it lasted like 90 minutes.
Oh wow, that's crazy. I think it was the Loveland Frogman and then the Birdman stuff with Leon both had a lot of
police.
Interesting.
Very cool.
Interesting. Yeah. Cool. Because as a matter of fact, I think the Loveland Frogman one, I think 3 of the 4 sightings were
law enforcement. I remember.
Yeah,
that was cool. Oh my gosh.
Speaking of festivals, they do have a Loveland Frogman festival over there.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. I think it's in February or March. It's early in the year. Yeah,
that's cool.
I've never been to it, but it's kind of on my bucket list. Yeah,
I would hope they'd have one. It's the only place that has the Frogman that anybody else is aware of. So you better have a festival.
I mean, there's not a lot of representation for the amphibian folks,
No. Make it count.
Yeah, that's right. Make it count. Make it count.
Well, awesome. Well, cool. I think it's almost the half hour, so I think we're Paranormal Smorgasbord is done with for this year, right? Or for this year, or this month. Oh my gosh! For this month. Yes. See,
and we got a little bit of a teaser for the next episode.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes.
So it'll be fun. Yeah. So anyway, it was fun to get back. It was fun to have a little break. But now we're back in it. And Jerry was saying he couldn't get on YouTube for some reason live. So he did get on about halfway through.
I noticed there was a delay there too a little bit ago. So I'm gonna have to double check with that. But I think that there was at least a delay. The whole episode I think is there, but I think that there was a long delay in it starting
live. Oh, that's
and it does that on Facebook too. Like there's a hair of a delay there.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
it's good to have Jerry there. Thanks, Jerry.
Yeah. Well, so I am leaving tomorrow for Canada. We're doing our Canadian expedition with Mr. Yerxa and the First Nations people up there. So it's going to be fantastic. Look for us live on the Sim Facebook and the Cryptid Chicks Facebook. And Mr. Trost is going to help us out with a little filming that we're going to do.
Mhm.
So look for that. I think it'll be a really cool little documentary in the end. So
I
anyway,
agree. I'm really
good
excited about
adventure.
that project,
I
actually.
know. I think it's going to be super fun. So anyway, I'm excited. So, all right. Well, everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging in there with us while we took some time away. And to all the troops watching, please be safe. And we thank you for your service.
And everybody in the chat room or wherever you're listening or watching us, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate you being here. Thank you so much to Cryptovania Network for hosting our show and Jason Trost for our amazing production that we have on this show. Thank you for all that you do. And we'll look forward to seeing you all next week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night, everybody. Oh, maybe.